is presented by Betano. The game starts now. Here are your hosts, Brent, Wallace, Jason York, and Bobby Ryan.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Coming in Hot. I'm Brent Wallace alongside Jason York, who's busy chasing wild turkeys in his backyard, and Bobby Ryan, who's about to hit the links for the 87th time already this season. Boys, hi.
Hello there.
Good morning, buddy. Beautiful day in Nashville. Beautiful day.
Not so much here. I just got a report. We're gonna get more snow, Wally. More snow is coming.
Come on,
Uncle.
But hey,
Uncle.
Listen, I have a picture. I should send it to Alex. April 20th, I think, 2 years ago, it was a snowstorm. So
I know
it might have been April 30th. So anyway, it happened. It's going to snow all year.
I'm
Lots
out of
going
here
on.
anyhow.
Where are you going now?
I'm going to Mexico tomorrow. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys.
Yeah. Oh, and then hey, when you get back the week after that, I'm out of town, Wally. So, as always, Renfrew Pro holding the show together.
There you go. Just wrap a piece of tape around you. You're good to go.
Okay. I'll be trying to find a new partner. Alex will be on the show next week. That's what will happen.
Alex, great for sure.
Boys, we got lots to talk about. By the way, this show, as always, presented by Betano. I've got some information and some news regarding the sale and the arena and stuff that's going on. So I'm going to get right to it. And I will preface this by saying, because Yorkie, we get this all the time. Can Jason York talk about the sale of the team? For those who don't necessarily know, your brother is Jeff York, who has been widely rumored to be trying to put together a package or trying to come up with. So I literally don't know where that's at, because I've told you all along, I'm not going to ask you, because I know there's lots of NDAs out there that you can't discuss. So everything I've done, I've had to go around you to find information around. So it's the weirdest thing. I will admit, it's very weird to not go, hey, Yorkie, what did you tell me?
We could play. You could play a game where you ask me a question, and if I don't answer, it's likely answer, like one of those things. So you're saying,
you should just play.
Warmer.
Just say next question. Yeah. Like, is Jeff York your brother? Next question. Okay.
Yes, he is.
So yesterday I put out a tweet asking if there was a celebrity that might possibly be bigger that you would like other than Ryan Reynolds, or a high profile celebrity. We did get some interesting choices. There was lots of debate about it. So gentlemen, I'll ask both of you, would there be any type of high profile celebrity out there that would make you go, that would be better than possibly having Ryan Reynolds?
I mean, is there anybody that's capable? Like, I no.
Yes, there is.
Ted Lasso.
Oh, yeah, that'd be sick. Yeah.
Little Jason
There you go.
Sudeikis.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I give you that one.
Yeah, okay. That's my answer too. I'm piggybacking that because I don't really care. I gotta be honest with you. I don't care.
By the way, one of the best. By the way, one of the best sleeper comedies of all time, Hall Pass. Hall Pass. You guys seen that one?
Phenomenal. I watched it last week. It's a
how good is that
movie? How good is is it Owen Wilson?
Yeah,
is that the other guy? Yeah. I mean, he's incredible in it. Incredible.
When they do the tour of the house, it's so good. So good. Wally, you obviously haven't seen it.
The golf scene's incredible.
I think I've seen it, but I don't remember it. I'm terrible at remembering movie stuff.
Bobby and Yorkie movie reviews. Hall Pass is a must.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah. You know what we should do is
if you were voting for the Oscars.
Tyler Ennis and I did this in the locker room. We did a March Madness bracket of the best comedies of all time, and Hall Pass was in there, and it didn't go very far. And I was like, people are sleeping on this movie. They're Sweet 16, and nobody knows it.
They don't understand. You got to watch. Trust me.
But I think that's something we should put in the show.
I agree.
Fair enough.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we
we're
not
starving
say
for stuff in
Shawshank
July.
Redemption? Listen, there'll be lots in July with free agent signings. As long as we don't all say
okay.
Shawshank Redemption is our favorite movie, we can move on.
Deal.
Deal.
Moving on.
It is a
Seen it
good
enough.
movie. I'm just tired of every hockey player picking it. So, what if I told you there is a group with a celebrity that would possibly have 370 million Instagram followers?
Yeah, I know who it is.
I still don't care. Somebody just buy the team. Like, it's great. It's awesome, but yeah. Until somebody buys the team, I don't care anymore. I'm out. Just somebody get it done so we can start talking about it.
It's gonna get
So I have
sold
lots.
soon.
All right. So all right. So here's who so with one of the groups, the Nico Sparks group, I was told that their big celebrity is Alex. Do you want to unveil it?
If you're some man, what the Rock is cooking.
Oh, you
That's
get
right.
The eyebrow thing in there.
Dwayne Johnson, The Rock,
Makes sense.
is apparently
Yeah,
involved
that's kinda
with the
cool.
Nico Sparks group. So
That's kind of cool.
would that sway you? Yeah, like one of the biggest, well-known people on the planet could possibly be part of the face of your franchise. I think that's a pretty big deal, and I think Nico Sparks' group has him in their corner.
Yeah. I heard that too. I heard that floated around too.
Cool.
Listen, and let me just throw something out there when it comes to everybody being depressed about if it's not Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds and The Rock are very close friends, from what I understand. Anyway, they've done a movie together called Red Notice. They've done a few social media posts together, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that may help sway possibly Ryan Reynolds joining that group if Nico Sparks was to get the team. I'd also like to point out a couple other things about the Nico Sparks group. People talk about where's the finance coming from. Now, by the way, The Rock is valued at $800 million. But the Nico Sparks group, from what I'm told, is backed by UK brothers in the Rubin family, who have a combined net worth of $15 billion. Some of the richest people in the UK. So they also own part of the Newcastle United football team. One other thing, and there's rumors that The Weeknd is also involved. I don't know if that's true or not, but I do know people are speculating that. The hockey advisor part, and Yorkie, you'll know who this is. Matthias Nordstrom is apparently on the hockey advisory side. He's the former LA King defenseman. Guess what? He's Swedish.
Former captain.
Oh, guess what? He's a very good friend of Daniel Alfredsson's. So, again, there's all kinds of ties that relate back to certain groups. So that's the Nico Sparks group. Apparently, it's a big group. It's well-funded, obviously. It's got plenty of celebrity status. Nico Sparks, as you see on the screen, has been working with the Ottawa Senators. He does a lot of AI stuff. And I'm pretty certain, I mean, he's posting stuff about the rumors about him being part of a bidding group. I would think he's still part mainly of trying to secure a franchise. So that's one of them. Most of the other names of the people who are coming to town that are shortlisted, as everybody knows, real estate developers. I did hear the Kimmel family one, and this is another interesting thing. And I don't know how fans would think about this. The Kimmel family is out of Toronto. They're a real estate development company as well. Very, very wealthy. Mm-hmm. Their hockey advisor.
Let me guess.
Is Matt Sundin.
Yeah.
Oh, I already said it. Sorry. So,
yeah.
Are Sens fans okay with Matt Sundin if he were to be part of the Ottawa Senators organization? But again, he and Alfie are very, very tight. He was Sundin that presented Alfie with his Hall of Fame plaque this past year. So that would be like, Yorkie, you played in the Battle of Ontario. What do you think fan reaction would be to Matt Sundin sitting in the owner's suite for the Ottawa Senators?
So here's how it works, and I've heard that one too. I think it'd be Ottawa Senators fans would love that. It's Brendan Shanahan right now is running the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's not a historic Toronto Maple Leaf figurehead. This is what happens all around the NHL. Pat Verbeek is running the Anaheim Ducks. He probably has speared or chopped 1,000 former Anaheim Ducks and Mighty Ducks through his career. This is what I'll say about Matt Sundin, and there can only be so many people involved in teams, and Sundin has a great history with the Toronto Maple Leafs, right? Brendan Shanahan is running the Toronto Maple Leafs, and if I was Matt Sundin and I wasn't involved and wanted to be involved, and this is just me spitballing here, maybe at some point he wanted to be involved, and why would Shanahan let him come in? Because you know how it works. You're very protective of your space and what you're doing. So I could see a situation, if that was in fact true, and it did happen, their group won the bid, I could see a very motivated Matt Sundin wanting to beat the tar out of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and Shanahan saying, you know what? You guys haven't won a cup since '67. Now that I'm part of the Senators, it's going to be even longer. That's how it works. Guys like this are competitive. That's how it works. Yeah. And it's the reason guys want to get involved is because the competitive juices are still flowing. So if Senators fans, I would think twice about how you feel about things, because once an athlete comes into a situation, they want to win just as bad as you do.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I everything you just said, I agree with. So I don't think you get to care. I think if anybody buys the team, it's an upgrade right now, not from where they're at. So I'd actually love to see a guy come in that has a personal vendetta against the Leafs a little bit. It would be really cool. So I'm all in.
Yeah.
I'm all in.
Yeah.
So here's the funny part is Jason Spezza works for the Toronto Maple Leafs against possibly Matt Sundin, who works for the Ottawa Senators. That's funny.
That's unreal. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look around all the league, right? Wally, look around the whole league right now, and you'll see players. And I just mentioned a couple off the top of my head, sprinkled within organizations. And look at Yzerman was running Tampa Bay for the longest time. Now he's back in Detroit. It's just the way it is.
But it should be pointed out that Shanahan and Spetz are both Toronto natives and grew up in that area. So they're well liked by the Toronto city before this ever happened, right? Like Shanahan was welcomed with open arms when he took over.
Well, that's because Toronto was a mess. Like they want anybody come in.
Anybody could have gone in. Alfie could have taken over, and they'd have been okay at that point.
Somebody get in here.
Fair enough.
So,
okay.
Talking about the rink.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk about.
We will. Yes. Okay. Stand by. This is a perfect time for you to lead us into another wonderful edition of Sponsor Reads.
All right.
We will start. You know what? You can have Renfrew because you already mentioned it today. You get Renfrew Pro, and we'll give Yorkie the BEI.
Beautiful.
Alex, whenever you're ready.
My screen froze, and I got nothing. Can you guys hear me though? No, I can't even see it.
Yes,
I'm going cold. Okay. Well, this show, as always, I have nothing, so this is not a good time. This show held together loosely, same as my computer and graphics, held together by Renfrew Pro. Visit our friends at renfrewpro.com for free tape Fridays, the one with the green core. It's the best tape in the league. Everybody knows it. I have no idea what I'm saying. Follow them at Renfrew Pro. I have to log back out and back in, apparently. But the one with the green core, available at all major retailers. And if you're buying anything else, you're just wasting your time. So I'm going to log back out and log back in because I'm staring at Yorkie's forehead right now.
Yorkie?
Yeah, Bonisher Excavating, helping to shape the Ottawa Valley community. Thanks to our sponsors. When you're planning your next project, consider BEI for your aggregate supply needs. Custom crushing, screening, haulage, floating. They're hiring right now, Wally, again, remember? Get that summer job application in. You can reach them at 613-432-1120. BonisherExcavating.com.
Very good. You know what? That might be your best. And also, This show is presented by our presenting sponsor, which we thoroughly appreciate, Betano.
Yes.
Go to Betano.ca or just download the app. It's user-friendly. Signing up, by the way, simple and easy. And get started with in the amazing world of sports with Betano. Hundreds of betting options for events, game day, same-day parlays with Bet Builder, live in-game betting, and the most competitive odds on the market. Also, they have super odds and enhanced odds for different games, including the Ottawa Senator games. Bet every game with the Ottawa Senators. Go to Betano. The game starts now. All right. Speaking of the game starts now, the arena issue. So I've been waiting for this because we've had to have a new mayor take over. And then there's always going to be the comment, well, what about public funding for the arena? Here's what I think is going to happen. One, there won't be, here's a check for $100 million to help build your arena. It's going to be, we will build all the sidewalks, all the roadways, all the infrastructure needed to get in and around your arena. We will help facilitate all of that stuff, but they're not going to help build the arena. That's my guess. They'll probably get provincial and federal funding for various projects around it. But again, it won't be to help build the arena. It'll be everything around it. So that's what I believe will happen. And I'm okay with that. Listen, they're going to bring millions of dollars in tax revenue with concerts, games, all that stuff. So before we get bent out of shape, I don't think they're going to help build the arena. I think they are going to help facilitate it being constructed.
Which is a win in itself, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, whatever group comes in is going to have to carry the load on the finances, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it should be public funded. I've always kind of thought that about buildings. I would like to see whatever ownership comes in, come in with a splash and say, here's the rink that we're going to build and where our Sens are going to play for the future. And they're going to bring in a ton of money. So I agree with you. And I absolutely love the idea that, they'll build the infrastructure surrounding it, but I think the rink should fall to the team. I've always felt that way about teams and their buildings.
Agree.
I was going to make a bad joke of what if they propose, they would maybe say, well, we'll make that COVID app a little bit better that the federal government spent all that money on. Well, new and improved.
Don't do it. Hey, look at Wally right now.
Not the time.
I'm just waiting for us to move past this. Yeah.
Just joking. There's going to be a lot of money.
The COVID show's next week.
Oh God. Whoever buys the team, it's a lot of money. They're coming in with deep pockets. I agree. There'll be some infrastructure on the outside, making sure everything's perfect, and that's where I can see the money coming in.
And I think they're aware of that. Like, I'm not sure. I know the real estate developers, and there's plenty of them in the list, know ways of loopholes of getting stuff built with knowing how to get financing based on tax breaks. That's okay. I get that. But they're also coming in this is a real estate play. We've said it all along. And I believe that this won't be an issue to get this built privately because they all have deep pockets. Like everybody on the list, I haven't yet found anybody who's not under $1 billion. Yeah.
They have the money to do their own rink. It's not a concern. Of course, you're going to take a shot. Of course, you're going to take a shot and see why. That's what any good businessman does. Hey, can we get some public funding here? That's how business works.
Yep. And
if not, whichever group gets it has the pockets to do this, and it's not a concern. It'll get done.
And that's what happened at LeBreton with Melnyk, and not Ruddy, but Melnyk went to the mayor and said, "Well, okay, you're going to pay for this." And two
totally different situations. With Melnyk's camp, not everybody knew they didn't have the money to do it. And when they got the bid, it was like, oh, okay, we got the bid, but we don't have the money. And then you're trying to get somebody else to pay for it. So totally different situation now. Everybody knows it. New ownership coming in, have the deep pockets, will do it. Not a concern. It's a good news day, right? It's something to talk about.
Absolutely. Yeah. So one other thing, and I want to get back to one of the owners that we've not talked about, but I'm getting more and more of a feeling, and Ian Mendes has reported on this in The Athletic. I don't think this is going to LeBreton. I think this is going to go to another parcel of land that's bigger, that they can build more buildings and more infrastructure on, because it generates more revenue. That parcel of LeBreton now appears to be too small for some of these developers. I don't think they're going to LeBreton, and I think they want to avoid the NCC, which is the National Capital Commission.
Yeah, where are they going then? Where do you? What's your?
I was going to say, what's out there?
There's a couple of places. So across from the ball diamond or the rink, the ball field. There's the old RCMP building. Now, Mendes has speculated all these in his articles. So I suggest you go, if you want more in depth, to read the Athletic. But that's one. There's another one on Lees Avenue he's discussed. There's also the old D&D building, which is downtown. There's all separate. And I think there's another one of possibly near the Ottawa Hospital. I'm not 100% sure on that one. I just know Bill Daley has talked about it, and the mayor mentioned it yesterday about they're saying whether it's LeBreton or somewhere else where the owners might want to build, we'll leave that up to them. I don't think this is going to LeBreton.
It's
unfortunate. When those comments come out, they're looking somewhere else.
It's unfortunate that Sarah Leader and his group did such a good job with their presentation back when the two groups were. It's so unfortunate, because if it would have went to the other group back then, there was more land available. But
yes,
how do you award something to somebody that doesn't have the money to do it?
It was simple. No, but Eugene said, "I'm not moving there. I own the team, and if you can't put an NHL team in that building, then there's no point building the building." They had no choice. But
back
to give it
back
to
then, back then there was so much land. And here's the thing.
Yep.
Yes, the rink is important, but out of the calendar year, there's 42 home dates plus exhibition. That's everybody thinks
playoffs.
You're making your money off
playoffs.
Everybody thinks you're making the hockey team. That's not the play here. You hope the hockey team breaks even. It's with all the other stuff, and that's right. What people. It's why do you think people want it at LeBreton Flats? And everybody talks about, well, the people from Gatineau are going to come over to watch hockey, and the people from Orleans. No, all those people are going to come in to watch concerts and venues that are there for the other whatever it is, 300, 250 days of the year, because this facility will be. The way it's going to be built, it's going to be able to be converted over in a day, in like half a day. So right away, the team's not even going to probably practice there. It's going to have something going on every single day, and that's where the majority, obviously, from the real estate money's coming in, whatever projects, condos, or whatever it is. But it's the venues, and that's why you're seeing groups like Nico Sparks so interested in this, because you see what you can do as far as a venue goes. And so it's the hockey part is just such a small part of it.
It feels like we've been talking about LeBreton Flats since, I remember talking about this in the locker room when I was there, and the running joke in the locker room was the only players that are still going to be playing for the Sens when this gets done are Curtis Lazar and Chris Neal. Like we used to say, the only players playing in that building are Nealer and Laser. That's what we used to say. We were like, who cares? None of us are going to be here by the time this gets done. It's amazing that we're still talking about it, because it was Curtis Lazar's rookie year. We were like, the only two guys still left are going to be Laser and Nealer. And we figured we were going to have to carry Nealer out. But I would just, the hockey's going to be such a small part of whatever building gets built near downtown. It really is. Where are they going to practice? That was are they going to practice at the Sensplex every day? Because the guys all live, Westboro, Canada centric. So if you put a rink downtown, you have to find a place for these guys to skate every single day now. And the guys aren't going to want to go out to Canada anymore. Is the CTC just going to stay there for a practice rink?
Yeah, there's all kinds of rinks you can convert into a practice rink, and
or build
one around
the
area, or build a little one, or
build one,
something like that.
One of the other things too is a lot of I shouldn't say a lot, but common theme now for these arenas is to put the practice rink at the arena, right? New Jersey's done it. I think Edmonton's done it. Columbus,
Detroit did it. Guys, I couldn't believe you guys have seen Detroit. Have you seen Detroit, Yorkie? I've never seen.
I haven't been there yet.
That. It is.
Is it good?
Man, it is ridiculous. Yeah. When I walked in there, I was like, was I playing in the American League the last 7 years? Like, and that's no disrespect. It was just, I could not believe the setup that these guys have over there. And I remember telling the young guys there, I was like, the grass is not greener. Boys, this is as good as it gets. Like, I know you're losing right now, and some of you guys want out. It doesn't get better than this. Could not believe it.
The Ilitch family revitalized a large part of downtown Detroit, Foxtown there, Bobby. Like, that was that was rundown area that nobody wanted any part of. It was a lot of crime going on, and so they had so much land to work with, and that family, they own a big chunk of downtown there.
Yeah, but it's next level.
Phenomenal
really
turnaround.
Yeah.
So part of that arena, and a side note, they have the Detroit Little Caesars hockey teams, and there's like 5 or 6 of them. They go from whatever it is, U12 to U15. They have boys and girls. So we were doing an interview with DJ Smith in one of the locker rooms, and I'm in here going, and it's over on the practice facility side, but they all have their own locker stall. Then in the back, they've got their own change area. They got the shower set up. They got the smart boards. Upstairs is the workout room, plus the homework room, the study room, the cafeteria, whatever. Like, this is for minor hockey. And I was like, so I remember taking a video to send to my son, and that's all he wants to do now is play at these places because the setup is phenomenal. That's just for minor hockey. The arena is beautiful. It is one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything else like it. In that trickles down from an NHL club all the way down to Little Caesars. It's just, and you know, having been, I was there in a COVID year, so some of those things were kind of restricted at the same time, but every single part of that facility was just next level. Insane.
Walking out, it's like Pittsburgh in a way, walking out to the arena through like that restaurant area. It's just beautiful. Like, the whole setup is anyway. So a new arena for Ottawa will be fantastic when that does indeed happen. But likely it's talked about they will either level the CTC or they'll convert it somehow. But there's talk of that land is $1 million an acre.
Well, you're going to put up a bunch of Minto homes. It's going to be another subdivision real quick. Yeah. We need more because the Tanger outlets is just banging. So we need to put more.
It's getting better, Bobby.
Is it? Okay. I remember going in there. I was like,
although I'm pissed off, they shut down the Cole Han outlet. That was my go-to for shoes. Gone, Wally. You must have.
Yes, me too.
That was your spot.
That's all my shoes are Cole Haan shoes.
Yeah.
And now Nordstrom's
closed. Yeah.
Yes. Moving back on to the topic of the day. So anyway, I do believe they're going to have to build a practice facility. And the practice facility they have now, Bobby and Yorkie, as you guys know, is garbage when it comes to NHL standards. Mm-hmm. You have to drive in your equipment to the practice facility. It's like Bobby home dresser.
There's nothing worse than dress and drive, Yorkie? There's nothing worse than dress and drive. Dress and drive.
Especially when it's minus 30.
Right, yeah. And then you're like, and you know, some guys would, I always hated it because I would just put all my gear in a bag and get dressed over there. But other guys would get fully decked out and just throw their skates on when they got there. It was just a cluster. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. But and then that rink doesn't get warm, so your hands never warm up. Goalies are like, I remember Andy was like, I'm not going down once today because we're at the Sensplex. So he would just stand there and he'd be like, guys, can you just shoot at the pads? Don't hit my hands. It's freezing in here. I don't feel like catching one. So
when I was in the minors, when I was in the minors, I was playing in Adirondack, Detroit's farm team. We had a practice rink. It was so friggin' cold. It was colder in the rink than it was outside. Guys were wearing toques under their helmets. Guys had like those little scarves on. You had gloves under your gloves. It was crazy. And you're on the ice, like you can't wait for practice to be over so you can get out of there. Like it's not fun.
It's one of those days nobody stays on the rink for extra shots. You just get out of there.
Yeah, out.
Yeah. So they do need a new practice facility, no question. One of the last groups I want to talk about And we've all talked about Michael Andlauer, the Remington Group, obviously. Rocco Tullio is another one. There's rumors that he and Andlauer are paired. I don't believe that to be true whatsoever. He's the owner of the Oshawa Generals. Graham Roustan just recently surfaced along with the First Nations group. It's interesting because Graham Roustan it was friends with Eugene Melnick and his family, close friends. And Roustan has a place in Carleton Place here. He tried before. He's told me in the past that he offered always to get to invest in with the Sens, and Eugene wouldn't offer it up. He said, if you ever want a partner or an investor, let me know. So they never got to a deal, but he's offered it before. And so that's an interesting one that's just recently come forward. And the First Nations groups, they have billions of dollars in their pockets. So deep pockets for sure. Be interesting to see where all this plays out. But that's just an update on the Graham Roustan, who also, by the way, he owns the Hockey News, if people are wondering. And he's the company that still makes wood hockey sticks, owns all the wood hockey sticks. And he's making like millions of these sticks because they go all over the world for people who obviously you can't afford the $400 one-piece stick. So anyway, all right, I want to move on to today's game where they're playing the Tampa Bay Lightning today. By the way, Corey Perry in Arnprior last night watching, I think it was like his cousin or something play Junior B hockey, and he was the star attraction at the game last night as he went to watch.
Oh, cool.
The worm. he'd be. We'll never get him. He'd be an interesting guy for the show. Well, we just love hockey. I would love to have him on the show.
How many years did you play
work on that?
How many years did you play with him?
6 years. I played with.
Yeah.
I actually just counted the other day because somebody asked me. 6 years with the worm.
Yeah. What was he like
can
off
you
the
get
ice?
him?
With no, he'll never come on the show. He avoids media very well.
We're not media
unless he
anymore. We're just some buddies.
Storytellers. Is he a good guy?
He one of the best. Yeah, he's very. I'll say this: the first year I played with him, I scored 30. My rookie year, until you're in his group, he has no time for you. Once you're in, and he's great with you. But like we were line mates and he barely talked to me, or it wasn't that he didn't want to acknowledge me or anything. We talked about hockey and plays and things like that. But it wasn't until like it was almost like I had to be solidified in his mind that I was going to be there for a while for him to open up. And then once he opens up, he's one of your best friends, and absolutely love him. But he's got that. I mean, while you were in the media a long time covering him, he's got this air of superiority, but that's not him at all. He's just a certain way until you're on the inside, and then he's great. But he'd be a great get. We'll never get him. I could text him and he would. I would text him and be like, "Hey, you want to come on the pod?" He would never answer, and then I'd say, "Hey, how you doing?" And he would say, "Great, man. How's everything?" We'd start chatting, but he would specifically ignore that question.
Work on it.
He sounds like.
Can we send him a gift?
Yeah, get him a gift.
Get him a bottle. You know what? If the boys get him a bottle of Camus, maybe we'll talk him into it. I'll talk to him.
You will be buying that because I can't afford that.
That
fair enough.
Bob, he's got a lot of old school in him, right? Because he reminds me the way you're describing him of a guy when I broke into the league where you had to, because the guys used to think, wow, this kid's coming in, probably thinks, you know what, this kid needs to show me something before I'm letting him into my world. So you got to score. I got 30 now. Corey, is that okay now? Can I be your friend now?
Yeah, are we tight now? Yeah,
good.
We've been line mates for a year. Are we good? Are we going to be talk?
Well,
yeah.
That's funny.
I don't know how often I interviewed him because you talk about the aura around him. Because of the way he was on the ice of being a miserable prick, you kind of sense that feeling when you were in the room. Like he wasn't warm and fuzzy. So I'm like, I'm not wasting my time interviewing a guy that doesn't want to talk. So, man, I'm going to guess during the Cup final we had some interviews, but there wasn't a lot of interviews with Corey Perry, I don't think, in my career.
How would Matt Duchene and Corey Perry get along, Bobby?
I know how they got along. I know how they got along.
Two
My guess is they were
opposites.
They were opposite. They were, they were far apart in the locker room, is my guess.
Oh God.
Is there anything more you'd like to share, or are we just?
No, I mean, they don't dislike each other or anything. Yeah. No, I just.
No,
know
it's just personalities.
They
It's
didn't
just-
mesh because
I know
polar opposites. Polar
Oh,
opposites.
God.
they are.
Hey,
Okay,
there's Wally. There's some guys that just
Yeah.
love to do cartwheels in front of the media, and it rubs guys in the dressing room the wrong way. I'll tell you guys a quick story. I played with Tim Thomas in Boston. You ever play with Timmy, Bobby? You ever play with Timmy? Like any
Did
events
he
or
make
anything?
our Olympic team? Was he on our Olympic team?
I think
feel like
so,
he was on our
2010.
Might have
Olympic
been.
team.
I think he
Yeah,
was.
but
But,
Millsy, Quick, and Tim. I think. Yeah.
So, two things guys hate in the NHL locker room. Number one, guys that are overly eagerly want to talk to the media all the time, and guys that celebrate after they win big pots on the card table. So Timmy,
Yeah.
Timmy did both of those things. And we had a guy on our team, Glenn Murray, great guy. He'd been in Boston forever.
Muzz.
And Muzz couldn't stand him. Just because of those two things. And every time after a big win, and I love Timmy because he's a great story, right? He had to grind, go over to Finland, didn't grew up, him and his dad selling apples off the back of a truck. Yeah, tough upbringing. So I always sat with the goalies. I loved them. But other guys, when they saw Timmy after the game, he would give the reporters 20 minutes and he would hold court in his stall, and guys would walk by or like, oh, here we go again. He's talking again. Jesus Christ. It's like, we lost 2-1. He gets second star. He's happy. Sure, come on. And then on the plane, we'd have these big card games and it'd be a big pot. Timmy would take it down and just go, yes! Start cheering because he won. And Murray would just look over, just laser beams over at Timmy Thomas. So, but oh God, yeah. Two things: never cheer when you win a pot, and don't talk to guys like Wally for over 5 minutes. They'll get you in the bad books with your teammates.
But listen,
I love it.
some of those times they were the only guys to come out.
Well, yeah, because they love
Yeah.
it. They love it.
You guys all hide in the back.
Me.
Yeah, I need somebody.
Yeah, we go right behind that tarp as soon as the Brian Morris would walk in and be like, boys, room's open in 2 minutes. And you're like, if I still had my skates on, I was like, those skates are coming off real fast. if BMO said there was 2 minutes. Yeah. We know what we're
number
doing.
of people I just saw the back of them before they got to the tarp. Be like, Bobby,
Yep.
Yeah,
Nope.
didn't hear you.
And then go sit in the stall.
Tom
and wait
Barrasso
for
gave-
and then BMO would walk around the back room, looking for one guy, and you're just like head down, trying to
Yeah.
talk on your phone or do anything to not make eye contact, and then he'd be like, all right, you're up. All right. I'll go talk to
And
Wally.
we would get we can't find him. I don't know where he is back there. I'm like, I've been back there. There's only so many places you can go. Don't tell me you don't know where he
Can't
is.
find him.
I would go sit in the sauna some
Anyway.
days. I hated the sauna, but I would go hide in there.
Tim Thomas, I know we're off topic. Tim Thomas, the only story I really bothered that I missed was I went to the
Yeah.
2010 White House when they were the Bruins were being presented to meet the president. And it started to be rumors that Tim Thomas wasn't there. And he wasn't there. We're like, but the PR people were like, he just couldn't make it today. And then some of the players were like, it's too bad he couldn't be here. And then you could just get a feeling that something wasn't right, but we didn't understand at the time what was going on, because before then, no one ever just blew off going to the White House. And then it came out after that he didn't want to meet Barack Obama, and I missed it completely. So that was the one.
I'll tell you what,
I
the
missed.
last thing on Tim Thomas, I've never played with a goalie that hates being scored on more than practice than Tim Thomas. Like, if you scored on him and skated by and like kind of give a fist pump, and guys started doing it on purpose, like there'd be a stick coming at you, he'd chase you, try and fight you, like just a competitor every single. I loved it because you knew once game time was coming, he was dialed in. But
Right.
yeah, he could run hot. But man, What a story, though, eh? Like, it's such a crazy story of how long it took him to make it, then winning the cup, and then it's a very good story.
And now he apparently just lives in the woods.
Yeah, I was gonna say he would have been a treat during a COVID year, wouldn't he? He would have absolutely.
We would have never seen him.
No, he would have been dropped for coverage real quick.
All right, today the Tampa Bay Lightning are in town. This is, by the way, Tim Stützle playing his 200th career NHL game tonight. We know he's been lighting it up. This is he's actually gone 2 games without a point, but he's only gone 3 games this year without a point. It's the longest streaks he's had this year. Here he stacks up against the all-time Ottawa Senators franchise leaders after 200 games. He sits 5th. Well, actually, he could probably end up being 3rd if he has a couple of points tonight. He will play his 200th game, and so he's got 1 more game. But Jason Spezza is the all-time leader, 191 points, with Yashin second at 181. Havlat 170, Alfie 169, and Tim Stützle at 165. He'd need a monster game, I guess, to move up. I was thinking he's off by a point.
Yeah, but were all these guys all these guys were a little older than him at 18, right? Starting? Maybe Spezza.
Yeah, I think Havlat is the closest, because Spezza had to go play in the minors because Jacques wouldn't play him. So
that's right.
Yeah, I think Spezza was higher, was older too. I was going to look up. He is the youngest to have this many points in franchise history for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else we say about him. Special player.
I know.
It's a couple years younger than all those guys, and I mean, what he's done this year is, and we've talked about it a ton, but it's an impressive year. Don't know if he can repeat it because you got Josh Norris coming back next year, and it's going to take away some touches. But at the same time, it's been incredible to watch.
The one thing we haven't talked about a lot is, when did it happen? 3 months ago, 2 months ago, when he started getting PK time, and he's scoring shorty. He's scoring shorties now. Like, he's a threat. Like, I love when coaches use skill guys on the PK, because all the PK is, you got to work. You got to take good angles, good stick. Obviously, he has to work on his face-offs. That's one thing he needs to get better. That'll come in time. That's just experience figuring it out. But it's the PK guys, for me, at his age, his experience level, being thrust into that position now, and he's grabbed it and he's handling it so well. So, yeah, it's. I said this before. I'll say it again. Norris getting hurt, awful. But what it's done to the evolution of Tim Stützle, this never would have happened had Josh Norris gotten hurt. It would have been a longer progression to get to this level for Tim Stützle. It just happened this much quicker. And some guys with this opportunity might have fell flat on their face. So just because he got the opportunity doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. He's the one that did it, but it doesn't happen if Josh doesn't get hurt this quick.
Yeah, not even close.
Where does confidence rank for him, like, as playing a role in that?
High, because here's the other thing is, he knows he's not going to lose touches to anybody right now. There's just nobody behind him in that space. So he's going to get every face-off. He's going to get every opportunity in the offensive zone. That will be shared a little bit next year when Josh comes back and starts to play. So right now, the confidence part of it comes knowing that I can mess up because of where we're at and the situation. I'm still going to be afforded all of the luxuries of a number one center, but it will be a little bit of 1A, 1B next year, I think. So
that's a great, Bobby, that's an awesome point. And I know we're not going to talk about DeBrincat today, but I'm going to say one thing. I'm going to say one thing about people and putting up points. The only way you can get 40, 50 goals in the NHL is to what Bobby just said. When there's a face-off and there's an offensive zone face-off, you're going over the boards. You're starting every power play. You're playing at least a minute and a half of that power play. You are on the first line. You are playing with the best team center. So this is where people are delusional that think Alex DeBrincat's going to be a 40-goal scorer on Ottawa. The reason he was a 40-goal scorer on Chicago And you got to go through that roster. He played with Patrick Kane. He's an act.
Are we getting into this?
Here? Just with the 1 point. And this is where it goes back to Stützle and why Stützle is getting so many points. You have to be a tremendous player, but you also have to have the opportunity and the perfect storm where you're getting all the offensive minutes. And to Bobby's point, there's no choice for the Ottawa Senators. They have Tim Stützle as the number one center right now, and he's got so much confidence because he should. He's a great player, but there's also nobody else that's fighting for that position. And when you get 40, like DeBrincat did in those Chicago years, there was nobody else to play there because the team was so bad. So you're always going over the boards every single time because you're the best option all the time to do it. And it's very situational. Or else if you're on a team like Edmonton where you're Connor McDavid, you're just that good, or it's just you can ask Bobby. It's so tough to score 40 goals in the NHL. So many things have to go in place for you. And for Stützle, bringing it back here, it's the perfect storm for him this year. And we'll see what happens when Norris is healthy this year because the coaching staff's going to have to figure a way how to make sure both centers are producing. So everyone will say, well, next year, if Norris doesn't get 35, what's wrong with Josh Norris? Why doesn't he have 35 goals? Well,
yeah,
there's only so much offensive opportunities for everybody, and that's the thing. Brady Tkachuk is never coming off the top line as a top left winger. So It's just, that's the way it is. What were you going to say?
Well, it seems pretty obvious at this point for Tim Stützle that we have to trade Josh Norris.
They don't have to trade Josh. They don't have to trade Josh, but
I'm
like
kidding.
Josh's role. But did you see what Josh's role? What it was becoming more of you're going to be the guy that plays against the top centermen, and that's the thing. Hey, once you get to a good team, that's what coaching is. You have to figure a way how to make sure everyone's going, how to give everybody their ice time, how to allocate, and that's why you can't have six forwards that are all the same thing. You need a little different. And that's how you build teams. You need a guy that's going to go in. That's why Crosby, for example, plays with guys that are going to hunt pucks down. That's why Hyman is valuable on Edmonton. That's why you need a little bit of. That's why Kreider for the New York Rangers. Like it's and that's Brady Tkachuk. You can't have all the same. So. And not that, so anyhow, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting next year because we saw it this year, guys. 1A, 1B power play. I'm sorry. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Nope. It's going to be a dogfight for that top unit.
Speaking of power play time, we're seeing Jake Sanderson, I think, ascend to the top of the power play units here. I think we're seeing Jake Sanderson maybe assume it's tough to say he's the number one D when you have Chychrun and Shabbat on your left side as well, but he's done a pretty good job. Like, do we think that he's the number one D on this team right now?
Oh, I don't know if I'm ready to say that about him. But he's close. And here's the thing about that top power play unit: you don't have to be much as the defenseman there. You just have to get the puck to the flanks. You have to walk the middle, and you have to be a threat to shoot. Outside of that, you're kicking that puck wide, and you're letting those guys go to work because they move it so well. So that's the easiest position to play in the power play right now. You just have to dictate which side of the ice the puck is going to, and let those guys work. Below the top of the circle. So honestly, I mean, I'm not going to go ahead and say. Anybody else can run it, but I do think that he is, with Shabby out, I think he's probably your best option. I like the fact that Chychrun can go in and have that bomb from the point that keeps teams accountable and holds the middle of the ice more. But yeah, Jake just walks the middle of the ice so well and dictates which side that puck is going to, that he's a very, very good fill-in. I'm just not ready to give up on Shabby being up there because I think the guys have a lot of trust in him. At the top to really settle things down.
Yeah, and this is the dangerous thing. This is the dangerous thing when you anoint players after a very small sample size. The thing about playing in the NHL is you have to consistently prove you're a let's say you're a number one defenseman, it's just not based over 3 weeks. It's not based over 6 months. You got to keep doing it. And Craig Ramsey, one of the best coaches I ever had, he used to say all the time, he goes, guys, the hardest thing isn't getting to the NHL, it's staying in the NHL. And for this point, obviously, there's no threat of either player losing their job in the NHL, but it's remaining consistent over time. And for these players at a high level. Do I think Sanderson's going to drop off? No, I don't. But I want to see him continue to play over time consistently at this high level. Listen, Tyler Myers won the Rookie of the Year his first year. He's had up and down, and for whatever reasons, injuries, whatever you want to call it. I don't think it's going to happen with Sanderson. I think he's going to be a premier defender in the league. I hate to anoint guys based on very small sample sizes. This is his first year in the league. I think right now the way he's playing probably better than the rest of the defensemen. Not that the others are playing poorly. I just think his level right now is extremely high. He's defending great. He's got all kinds of confidence. He knows the coaches love him. He's playing great. Jacob Chychrun, he's been great as well. And I'll say this, probably some adjustment time, getting used to a new city, all that. I think you could put any three of those guys on that power play because of this. And here's the thing. Ottawa's flanks are so talented. Tkachuk is so good in front of the net, and Batherson's so good in that position. And then you can put Giroux out there, whoever. Those forwards just know how to create time and space. They're so good. So for a defenseman, not that it's not hard, but you just have to make smart, clear, precise plays with the puck. I'd say probably the toughest thing on that power play is making sure you get your entry. Because once you get your entry, it's actually not. It's one of the easier power plays to play the point on because the forwards they take it down low, they suck guys down with them, then they pop it back up to the point. Then the defenseman usually has a high percentage play to make. The one thing I will say though, I love Chychrun's wrist shot / snapshot. He gets it away really fast, and there is a lot of velocity on it. So he could be there too, but. Again, that's what I said earlier. This is the thing with coaching. You got to figure out which guy gives your best power play the best time. And right now, Jake Sanderson's working, so why change it, right? Exactly. I wouldn't.
Yeah. Nope. Don't mess with what's going on.
Just an interesting note. Thomas Chabot averages 3 minutes, 51 seconds of power play time, and Jake Sanderson, 2:12. And I know it's changed recently, but they both have the same number of assists. Shabby's got 3 more goals.
And listen,
just an interesting.
Wally, one thing.
In fact,
one more thing on Chabot. And here's the thing: people have seen him for so long now, right? So he scores that beautiful goal the other night. He comes in, Giroux feathers it across. People don't make a big deal of it because they're like, "Oh, well, it's Thomas Chabot.
Right.
That's what he's supposed to do." Nobody's praising him. Nobody's going, "Ooh, ah." If Jake Sanderson makes that play. He's new. He's fresh. It's like we're probably talking about that for 2 weeks, right? I don't think anybody really made a big deal of that goal by Chabot because they're like, as soon as he made a defensive play, everyone started shitting on him again. So
yeah, exactly.
He's become the whipping boy right now, right? I saw it happen to Wade Redden. I've seen it happen to Kravchuk for guys from my era. It's whatever. He's going through something right now. We'll see. It's hockey is about being consistent over long periods of time.
Yeah. Well, we tried to trade Chris Phillips every year for about 10 years.
Right?
Cody CC, we did the same thing. Yeah. So it happened. If you're a high-end D, it seems like you are targeted always, unless you're like Cale Makar. But even we could go to Larry Murphy for that. We always go back to Larry Murphy, but you get run out of town and then you start winning Stanley Cups.
Yeah, if you make a lot of money, if you make a lot of money, and your point with Philly, like Wade Redden made a lot of money when he played. As soon as he was gone, they're on to the next guy. It's just it's the nature of the game. That's how fans are, right?
Next man up.
All right, time for lock of the day. Brought to you as always by Betano. Go to Betano.ca. This is where the game starts now because it gets good. As I like to point out that we all won the last game because we all picked the Boston Bruins, so that was pretty simple. Today, is it going to be the same? The Tampa Bay Lightning, gentlemen, are struggling of late. Only 6 wins in their last 16 games.
Struggling.
By the way, Nick Paul has a career high in 17 goals. The Sens have struggled against Tampa, but Tampa's been pretty good against most teams in the league of the last few years. So, Yorkie, we're going to start with you today.
I went first. I've went first every time.
That's
I'm
not
going
true.
last this time.
Bobby went first last time.
You're going first this time. You always are cherry picking.
Yeah,
off us.
actually,
You're
yeah,
going
you get
first.
to piggyback a lot of picks here. 14 and 8.
You're going first.
I don't piggyback any. Okay.
Lead
Who
us
you
off.
taking? Let's go.
Tampa's going to be cranky coming in after losing in Montreal.
They're going to be Wally like
Nikita Kucherov, by the way.
So Tampa's going to play like your personality, cranky, agitated.
Yes.
That's what you're thinking?
Yes, but Nikita Kucherov was held pointless in the last game. He has not gone pointless in 2 straight games all season long. Take the Tampa Bay Lightning to win this game.
Wow.
We got a okay, so you're taking Tampa. Sorry. There it is. All right. Do you want me to go, Yorkie, or do you want to follow this up?
I'm going last. I want to piggyback off you guys here.
I'm going to take Tampa. I don't really want to, if I'm being honest, but we're seeing a Tampa Bay that's just coasting right now into the playoffs, and then we're going to see the real Tampa Bay. They know how to turn it on. They've been there. They've done that. They've won it every, they've won 11 of the last 12 playoff series, give or take. But I do think after a game in Montreal where they dropped one, they're going to come out tonight and they're going to find a way. So that's my pick.
Yeah, man, I'm thinking Ottawa.
Me too.
I'm thinking Ottawa, but I'm looking. I watched that. I don't know if you guys watched that Pittsburgh game last night. They just beat Colorado, and I would. That's a real. If there was any glimmer of hope for Ottawa, you're watching the standings. They got to win out now if they're going to make the playoffs, and I think that was a dagger last night. Pittsburgh winning that game against Colorado. Yeah. We know who's starting for Tampa, Wally. If they haven't listed yet, is Vasilevsky starting? Do we know that?
No, I don't.
Too
I
early.
don't know.
Yeah.
Too early. Eh? I'll take Tampa too. I'm flipping a coin, but I'm going to go with Tampa. I think Ottawa's. They're going to be reeling a bit here.
Yep. So no ground
Well,
to make
way
up
to
for
go on
anybody.
you know who it's going to be. It's going to be Brian Elliott.
Elliott, really?
You know what?
Imagine,
Really?
right?
I'm running out of room here. Can our guy behind
you're
the
gonna
scenes
switch your
flip me to
pick?
Ottawa? I'm gonna switch because you know what? I'm running out of room, and you just piggybacked. You did exactly what I thought you were gonna do, and you did it. And you know what? I'm taking Ottawa, and only because look, I mean, this is a guy that's just protecting his lead at this point, saying, "Hey, who's Bobby or Wally taking?" I'm gonna go with that. So this is it. I'm
Okay.
I'm the biggest Sens fan on the pod. I'm taking the Sens.
I know. I'm up like 4-1 in the third, just dumping it in, sitting back, no forecheck.
Yeah. Exactly.
I actually think
I
Ottawa
feel like
can
there
win this
needs to
game.
be a rules committee.
I think Ottawa can win
playing
this
this-
game. Maybe Tampa's fine. Like they know where they're going to finish. They're going to finish playing Toronto. They're probably bored.
Yeah.
I should switch my pick too.
Don't you dare.
Yeah.
You made your pick. You got to sit in it now.
No, but you see,
You guys are gonna make me
set
watch
a
a-
precedent.
Tennessee's playing tonight in the March Madness, so I'm going to be flipping back and forth quite a bit, but I'm going to be tweeting about this one a little bit.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna watch
Okay.
this one. Yeah. Anyways, could go either way. Who knows? Ottawa's so unpredictable. You don't know what they're gonna do.
Yes.
You have no idea which team's showing up a lot of nights.
No,
Like,
no.
Is that fun as a player?
No, you want a little more consistency than they get, I think. I think you want a little more consistency. But you know that Tim Stützle is
You-
going to show up. Brady's going to show up.
Yeah.
So they're going to have a night.
I just keep going back. It's really tough right now with the goaltending situation, that the hand they've been dealt. Like you were down to your 5th string goalie the other night. Thank God he had a night. Ferguson stopping 58, and Sogart's probably, hey, this guy, he's feeling the pressure. He wants to stay in the league. He played great against Boston. He played so well against Boston, didn't get the win. It's been a while since he's won, right? So it's and this is the thing about staying in the league. It's mentally, it's grinding. You start doubting yourself. So we'll see. I think he'll have a night. Whoever's playing, and that's for Ottawa tonight. So, but I don't know. These guys are so young, Wally. They're just going out and yeah, sure, they're thinking about it, but it's part of being young. You're inconsistent, right?
Yeah.
Sogard,
house money
03
right now.
and 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you doing over there? What are you
Yeah.
thinking about? Wally, what's going through your head there? No, Wally's got some steam coming.
Wally's got the browse fur out right now.
Oh, no, I was just looking up stats for you. That's all.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to think of something fun to end the show with. I was just going to say Thomas Chabot remains our rock, but I don't know if that works.
In Shabbat we trust. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Are we done?
Okay.
See you guys next week.
Bobby's got a tea time. He's
I
got to
will-
get the hell out of here.
I got to work out. I'm going to work out.
Well, Schwartzy's got the calipers today for me, so I got to get to see him.
Is it body
Where you
fat
at
day?
right now?
It's body fat day.
What are you
That's not a
sitting
good
at
day.
right now?
I used to hide in the sauna on body fat day.
He's got the animal ones out, the veterinarian calipers today.
Hey,
I had
did
I bought it. This is how bad I was. I bought my own pair of those things so that Danielle could do it on me in the summer, so I knew where I was at all
Oh,
time.
that's right.
Schwartzy would always be like, I can't get a pinch because I would go in and rub lotion all over my stomach so that it kept sliding off. Nobody knew how to curl up this thing better than me.
Hey, I
right.
told you guys I told you guys the Savard Kessel body fat story. Eh? Did I ever tell that story?
Oh yeah.
Oh God. Well, you
Save
heard that
for
one, eh?
story time.
Yeah, we'll save it next
Save it,
show.
okay.
All
right.
Yeah,
In
because
for
I got
a
a couple
pinch,
Phil
in for a
Kessel
pound.
stories too. Yeah.
Do you?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
We'll do that. We'll save it for next week. See you next week, gentlemen, wherever you guys are. Yorkie, are you on the show?
I'm home.
I don't even know.
I'm home. I'm here for the podcast. Only some of us go to Mexico and just enjoy the weather. Some of us are a little more committed.
All right, see you, boys.
Yorkie's
But the
living
week
his
after that,
best
I'm
life.
out.
All right.
See you guys.
See you guys. Take care.
Coffee. It's
Thanks for
coffee
watching,
time.
everybody.
Safe travels.
Coming in Hot is brought to you by Betano.ca. Please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel to never miss an episode.